Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year to all that are watching. I'll just give a few minutes for everyone to hop on. We're 3/4 of the way through January already. I can't believe how fast it's gone. I've been away on holidays for 3 weeks, but I've been back a few days and thought I'd start with my first video for the year. My name is Laura Stranks and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Thanks for joining me today. Today's card I've cased from an American demonstrator. Her name is Rachel Tessman. She was quite happy for me to share her measurements and instructions. She chose, I'll show you the card that I'm doing. It's called a, where will I get the name? Back-to-back Bendy card. On this one we used the Fancy Flora DSP, which is the same, she used different colours, but I chose this one. But it's the same DSP. But today I'm going to use the Regency Park DSP and make it totally different. I'll just show you where the two are in the new papers in the mini catalogue. And the Fancy Flora suite is here, and I've chosen this DSP for this first one, and I also chose for both cards I'm going to use this Something Fancy stamp set and dies. Love the dies, how they layer on top of each other. And also I use some of the shimmer. I'll show you in the back here for the little leaves in the background there. When you pop it up you can see the leaves sitting down in there, and also the back frame has got the shimmer that's in the Fresh Freesia. My base on this is Orchid Oasis, and most of the colours tone in nicely. You've got a little space here to write on. You could put a panel in here if you wish to, if you want to do a lot of writing. I'm not a big one for writing a big long story when I send a card. It's just nice to have a few words in there, but that's how it sits when it's done. It's not too difficult. So that's where the paper is for that, and all the other greetings and stuff that are there. But the one I'm doing today, I'm going to do it in the Regency Park, this DSP here. I love blue. My craft room, if anyone watched my video from last year, the last one I did in the year, you would have noticed that the bulk of my craft room has got blue in it. My favourite colour is blue. And I've also used some of the little die cut flowers out of that set as well in the Sentimental Park. I didn't get this Petal Park bundle yet. I'm not sure whether I want both. I know I got that one. I got the Note of Navy ribbon, and I got the adhesive back Milky Dots. They're quite pretty as well. I got this folder. I didn't get the cane, whatever this one is, textured 12 by 12 shimmer paper. I didn't get that one, but I might still get that one. But there's lots of nice things in the catalogue. I've done a big order already, so I think I've got the bulk of what I need. So we'll get on to today's card. To shorten the video quite a bit, I've cut all my pieces, so it's just a matter of assembling today. Hope you enjoy what I've got. Now, that's the pack of DSP, Regency Park 6x6. Lots of lovely patterns in there, lots of blues, which is my favourite. I think that's why I chose the pack. And we will start with the two base pieces. You can choose whatever colour cardstock you like. I've chosen the Balmy Blue for this one. And there's two of these. They measure 5.5 by 4.25. And I'll do this as I go. Make sure nothing falls on the floor. And we're going to score it, both of them, in half. So they're 4 1/4, so that'll be 2 1/8 you're going to score at. Make sure it's scoring and not cutting. 2 1/8 and 2 1/8. So that's those two pieces. I'll just put that aside. We will need it again in a minute. And you can fold these in half and burnish nicely so that they're nice and even. And that's all we have to do for those. Then we have, I've called it Designs 1, 2 and 3. So you can choose 3 coordinating patterns. This is my design 1, which will be these in here. And you need 2 of those, that one and that one. I'll show you how they go together in a sec. They measure, well, the best way to do this so you haven't got to work in 16ths, they measure 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, but I want 1/16 shorter so that you'll see here there's a tiny little edge down here, half of 1/16 on the sides. So to do that, I cut it at 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and then I just cut off 1/16. You can go, I'll show you another way of doing it. If you go 4 1/4 there, and then just move your DSP back, because it'll be 6 inches wide to start with, 4 1/4, and then just move it back 1/16 of an inch, which is that next little mark. If you can see that next little mark underneath the halfway, I'm on 4 1/4, the one under, so it'll be 4 3/16 on that short side, but it'll be 5 1/2 long. So that's that one, and there's 2 of those. So we're just going to fold these because they're that little bit shorter shape, and also it's DSP, so you can just fold this instead of, actually we need to fold so that the pattern you want to use or you want showing is on the inside. So just line up those edges like that. I'm not too fussed on the other side pattern. That's why I'm glad they've got one that you don't like and it doesn't look as though you're wasting a nice patterned paper. So you can fold both of those in half. DSP is easy enough to fold freehand. If I'm making card bases and stuff with cardstock, I always score. I don't like to freehand fold. So those 2 are the same. Then design 2 will go in order here. Design 2 paper, I've chosen this, it's the reverse dot of that. This has got that's got the Balmy Blue with the white, and this has got Night of Navy with Balmy Blue. And you need 4 of these, and these will go on the front and back, those 2 at the front and 2 underneath there at the back. And they measure 2 inches by 5 3/8. All these measurements will be in my PDF. So there's 4 of those. And just be wary, when I cut these, I thought I would get 3 out of the 1 sheet of DSP. I cut 2, and then I cut 3. Where are we? 2, 4, 6, 3. So I cut 2, and then the last one, the paper is not 6 by 6. It's 1/16 smaller. So just be careful when you do cut. The third piece was not 2 inches wide, so I ended up having to use 2 separate sheets, and I got 2 out of each, and then you're left with a fraction under 2 inches. I think that happened a few years ago to me, where it should have been 12 by 12, and it was a fraction shorter on one side of the 12 by 12, and these are not actually 6 by 6, but I think they do mention somewhere that measurements are not always exactly as they tell you. So just be careful. Don't think your last one's going to be 2 inches wide, because it's not. I know that in this pack, I'm not sure about all the other packs. So we've got 4 of those. And then design 3, which is the fronts here, this curvy piece and this curvy piece. They measure 4 1/2 by 5 inches. And I've scored already down the sides. I've scored 1/2 inch, and you can do these together on the short side with the short side at the top. I'll just show you how I did it. So just put that side edge up against the 1/2 inch mark down there and score. You can score the two together. Don't press too hard or you might rip the top one. And another 1/2 inch on that side and score down that side. And then those pieces can get folded in. You'll see your score lines along there. And just freehand those and then burnish them when you're finished. I hope I've got all my bits cut correctly. I think I have. I've had plenty of time to prep for this, so making sure it's all good. And then I'll burnish those just to give them a nice crease. I love this patterned blue. I could have used the stripes, but I didn't want anything that was sort of directional on it. So that's those two. Then we have all our other little bits and bobs. My basic white panel for my greeting. This is the back one. The back one, yes. This one here. Now I've changed the shape. The sets I've used for this are from, and the other one I used the curvy top. For this first card, I used this curvy topped one, and that there, the second size. So those two sizes. For the one I'm doing now, I've used this middle set here, and I used the two biggest ones. You don't need to use these. All these little pieces cut out in this curve. So when you die cut, I'll just show you how they work. When you die cut, that will just sit in there. Your die will go up the other way, and all of those sit in there, which gives you that lovely little cutout piece in there. You've got that leaf, or you've got this flower, or you've just got a little, like a teardrop in there. So those three. But for this card, I used these two bigger ones, and they don't go, these little cutout pieces don't go in those. I've also used this different shape die, which is really nice. I've used that quite a bit on different cards. So that's that. And the greetings I used out of this one, out of the Sentimental Park bundle. I've got Let's Celebrate to go on the back, and on the front I've just put Happy Birthday, and I stamped some of these flower images, and I also die cut. I'll show you them all in a minute. Some of these little flowers with the detail piece that goes on the top there. They sit on top of those. Just make sure you line up the right detail with the right flower. So my greeting, which is that little piece, it goes on the back piece. And that's the larger panel in the blue, in the Balmy Blue. That will be plain white on there. That will sit flat on there. And this one, I'm going to put this one at the bottom, something different. That one, this card here, I've put at the top. This one I've got at the bottom. And then the front piece, that little piece, I'll show you where that goes in a sec. That piece measures 1/2 inch by 2.5. And you'll see in a minute where that's the little hinge that holds the centerpiece up. I'll show you where that goes shortly. And this one here is the same size as the back one. It's the smaller die, or the middle die of the three. Happy Birthday on there, and I just die cut the flowers and I glue dotted them to the back. I tried not to use glue or any glue that sticks out, because this is going to sit up, and when it lies flat, you don't want any sticky here. That I stamped that, and it was a bit crooked, so I did it again on this side. But just make sure you don't get any glue on the backs of, and I'll show you what I mean when we get to it. Right, we'll put all that aside for a minute. I've also got some embellishments to put on it, and we'll start with this piece. And all we're going to do, we're going to take these two bigger pieces first, and they just go all the way around, back to back. And when you line them up, make sure you line up your two folds together here. It will be a fraction short because that's that 1/16 little dribble down the side where we cut it a fraction smaller. So all we're going to do, and I'll get my silicone mat because I suggest you use Tombow for this because you want a bit of wiggle room so you can get it nice and straight. Don't put your glue too close to the edge, otherwise it's going to ooze out and you'll have glue where you don't want it. So these just go back to back. The first one just back to back on that. Line it up down the center, and it should be even top and bottom and nice and straight along there, like so. And you will see it's that little fraction down there that's missing. That's where we cut it a fraction short. You don't want it hanging over the edge of that. So that's that one. Now we're going to go with the blue again. So you're just putting DSP to cardstock all the way around. So this one will go on here. So we're going to put glue on there. Make sure it's not cardstock to cardstock. Just DSP on cardstock. And the same way, same fold in the same spot. Hold it over close to there. Line it up there nice and even. And down that edge. Give it a nice press. Then we're going to go DSP again. Excuse me. Talking a lot gives my throat a bit of a tickle. That's all good. My hubby's at golf. Make sure we've got the folds against each other. All the folds will go together. As you can see, I've got blue on my fingers from before when I stamped the greetings. So that's that one. And then the last one will just fold across and go onto that one, like so. And then you end up with that shape. So make sure you're putting your glue on the side that you don't want. Down on the B side, what I would call. The A side is what you're working with. So you can just fold that flat shut and it should all line up. Basically, I'll just have a mouthful of water. Now, that's that piece. Now, as you can see here, we've got these 4 panels here. So we're going to work on the non-pattern pieces. I'll just give that a nice push down. And these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, they will go at the back. We can put glue on those. That's not my favourite coloured pattern either on the back of that one. I'm not an orangey, yellowy sort. I don't mind a bit of yellow, but not too fussed on orange. So these 4 will go onto the cardstock, and you should have a 1/16 border all the way around if you've cut them correctly. One, and this is what's good when you don't have a directional paper. You can flip it any direction. I'm always a bit wary working with directional paper. I thought these colours went nicely together. And flip it over and we'll do the other 2. It's quite quick once you get all your pieces cut. While I was on holidays, I was watching
my subscriptions to my YouTube channel. I'm up to, before Christmas it was under 200. I think I did a call out when I got to 200. Now I'm up to 227, which it sort of rose quite suddenly over the holidays. I'm not sure why. There was no videos going up. My last video where I did the tour of my craft room, I got over 1,000 views on that, which I thought was wonderful. I am going to do another one later in the year and show you inside my cupboards how I organise all my pieces, my bits and pieces, and where I find them nice and quickly. And I hope you enjoy that, but I'll get my granddaughter over one day to film it for me. So that's that. Now the tricky bit, and I'm going to die cut this over on my other desk so that you don't hear the clunking. We need this die. We want the biggest one out of these 3 centre dies, because this is going to sit in the middle. You only see a little bit of these flowers at the top, as you can see on this side. So we're die cutting this middle piece out, and the leaves and that and the flowers, you just see the top and bottom. You can see them when you flap it open like that. So I'm going to go, I'm just going to do one at a time. I'm going to centre that die there and run it through my machine. I'll do both of those. Oh no, we only need to do one. Don't do 2, Laura. We don't need the other one. We're just doing 1. So I'll go and die cut that. I'll be back in 1 sec. Stay with me. I'm going to put washi tape on it as well, and hopefully I'll get it nice and straight. I think it's straight. I've got my machine on a different table for when I do my videos because it will wobble my camera. My camera is attached to a stand that will end up wobbling everything. So that will sit on there. This piece you can keep for something else later. I'm sure it won't go astray. It's quite pretty. Then we'll do this front piece first. We're going to put glue down these 2 1/2-inch edges here that we folded inwards, and we're going to glue it flat onto here. Just double checking, make sure I've got nothing else to do. Actually, before I put that, oh no, I can put it on after, because it's all going to be flat. This little 1/2-inch piece, it measured 1/2 inch by 2.5, I think it was. Yep, 1/2 by 2.5, and I scored it at 1/2 inch on each end. It's going to sit in here like that. You probably can't see it down in there. It's a little easel-like thing, arm thing that it will hold up the greeting in the centre. So we'll put that on after we centre this down the centre. And just make sure you don't get glue overlapping. This is the curvy bit, so you want it to curve. So when you put it on, make sure you don't bend your card. So we're going to get it nice and centered here, up a little bit, like that. Give it a nice press down. Make sure it goes on and lie it flat as you go. You don't want to put it on while you've got your card bent, otherwise it doesn't work with the bendy bit. And then as you can see, when you sit it up, it bends up nicely like that. Then this little piece, we're going to put glue on the 2 ends of that. I could have done it in the navy background dotted piece, but you're not going to see it, so
Doesn't really matter which DSP you use. You can choose yourself. And just a tiny bit of glue in the centre. You don't want a whole lot that it's going to ooze out everywhere. And just line it up down that centre score line and centred top and bottom. Nice and straight. And push it down in the middle there. Like so. And it curves exactly the same as your outside panels. Then this will sit on top. You need to tuck your flowers in under on each side. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. I think we just put it down the centre. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. Yes, it was just down the centre, and that's right. I did draw a line down the centre of this. So it'll stay curved. You don't want it flat. So just put a little strip of glue. I just drew a pencil line that was halfway and just a thin strip down the centre of that. I watched Rachel's video a couple of times, once by itself and then again when I was making my sample card. So just centre that in the middle of that, and that will attach to, which I think, I know what I've done wrong. I don't want glue. I knew I'd do that wrong. I need a wipe. I'll just give it a wipe off. The glue goes in the centre of, you won't see the back of that. I've got a little bit of glue in there, which I'm going to wipe off. Just put a little bit of glue in the centre of that, this piece here, not the whole strip. It's the back one that has the whole strip. So just that little bit in there. I'll just dry that off a bit. Make sure there's no right or wrong way on this one. And then this will sit in here. That's better. We don't want the glue all the way up and down because it'll be stuck down wrong. Just trying to get that straight. That's better. Perfect. So it just catches on that little hinge piece in the middle and sits up like so. Whoops. It's not quite dry to be poking around with it, so we'll put another little bit of glue in the centre of that. And then we'll leave it alone until it's dry. Just need to centre that. We'll come back to the front of it. We'll do the back while that's drying. And it's the back piece that we need down the centre. Let that dry away. This piece will go on exactly the same as the other. I think I'll be making a few of these. I love the design. You could do it in any paper. I've got quite a few new papers that would look nice in this. Rachel's card, she did it in soft succulent with the greeny colours from the Fancy Flora DSP. That was very pretty. So that's that one. Now these two can go flat on each other. The white panel onto the blue panel. We're trying to keep the card flat as we can. You can put some dimensionals on because there's a lot of layers of cardstock there. So just layer that one on top of there. Quite straight. And then this one I'm going to put at the bottom, and I'm going to put dimensionals on this, and I'm going to put them on
this part over here so that they don't end up overlapping outside the frame. So I'll put one there and one there. And then that will sit up on that. I'll just move it over a fraction. Like so. Now, so that this will still bend, this is the one that we need to score down the middle. I'm just going to put a rough line down there. That's about the center. That's the one we needed the glue on right the way through, not the front one. And just a thin strip down the center. Make sure you've got it up the right way according to the front, and this will sit straight on here in the center like so. Give that a second to dry. Hope that looks straight to everyone. And it's just down the center, and I'll show you why in a sec when we pick it up. Just get all that out of the road. Finished with that. And I've got the pastel pearls out of the annual catalogue. The blue ones go nicely with this. I think that's straight. It's not looking too straight for my eye. That's better. And as you can see, when you open it up and stand it up, get that open, it still hinges just down the center. If you lay it flat, it's not going to do the bendy bit that you want it to. So that's that. And the front, the same on the front. Actually, the stripes on that front piece and the back piece, I've got the stripes the other way. I didn't look at that. There are stripes in the background of that. One's going one way and one's going the other, but that's okay. I should have checked that before I did it, but that's fine. That's all, and I shall put some pearls on it, these pastel pearls, just a couple. Three on the front. And probably they're all the same size. I'll just put one at the back like so. And that is my bendy card. Something else I had to tell you and I've forgotten what it was. That's it. Back-to-back bendy cards. That's how you make them. I reckon they're quite cute. Something different. That's the back of your card and that's the fronts of your card. You don't need to put these little, it just fills in that bit of a gap there. I reckon they're quite pretty, and that's in the different paper. I'll just check my notes and see if I had anything else to tell you. If you wish to subscribe to my channel, just hit the subscribe button down the bottom and you'll be notified when my videos go up. I do record my videos and then upload them later. I'm going to start and do lives later on this year. I'm just trying to get some more different equipment here. I've got pretty basic stuff, but it's working for me. And I need to get my granddaughter over as well. She's my big help. All my PDFs are on my Facebook page, which is called Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. So you can join that group if you wish. Just hit the join button and I shall approve straight from there. I've also got a Facebook page. That's a group, Facebook group. My Facebook page is called Cards by Laura. And all my other cards, not the ones that I do on YouTube, they are on there. If you want to buy any, they're all for sale on there. I do market stalls as well. I'm doing some more regular markets this year.
just to sell a few of my cards. Feel free to case any of my tutorials as well. And thanks again to Rachel for the idea for this one. Love, love, love the card. That's it from me for today. Have a lovely week, and I shall see you all again next week. Bye for now.